Hey guys, welcome back to the Dynamic Body Project. I'm Dr. Swearingen. Today we're going to continue with our soft tissue series. We're focusing on the pectoralis muscles, the pec major and the pec minor. Now, these muscles originate and insert in different locations, so let's review that. The pec major, the bigger of the two muscles, originates from the collarbone and the sternum, and they insert into your arm over here, the humerus. The pec minor originates from your third, fourth, and fifth ribs and inserts into your coracoid process, which is part of your shoulder blade. Now, these two muscles can affect the function of the shoulder and the arm itself. They can decrease your mobility, create pain, tendinitis, any types of tears or ruptures that you can experience, and overall decrease your quality of life. These tissues are very difficult to create tissue work to because we want to compress these tissues, and unless you're laying face down, it's hard to create that. So that's what we're going to review today. You will need a tool. I like to use a kettlebell. Now, you can use the lacrosse ball, the paintball, but due to its size, it doesn't quite create the same compression and resistance that we're looking for. Now, they do make larger balls and tools out there. Find what suits you. Just be able to create enough compression that you can create stretch to these muscles. We will also be using active rehabilitation, the phase 2, dynamic mobility specifically. We're going to be reviewing A's, T's, Y's, and I's of the shoulder. Whenever we're doing this with phase 2, we're restoring motion, but we're not loading it. Today we're going to combine the two, active rehabilitation and soft tissue work, to create change to this pec. Now, with the kettlebell, this is an 18-pound kettlebell. I like the size that it gives me. I like to have the handle facing my feet. Remember, these pecs are coming from the sternum and collarbone and ribs here, close to the midline, and going out to the shoulder. So we're going to start our pressure with the kettlebell, or whatever tool we're using, close to the sternum, and we're going to follow those fibers out with multiple passes. We'll move up and then follow those fibers out. Whenever we perform an A, T, Y, and I, those 4 movements constitute 1 rep. So you'll hear me say we'll do 10 reps of this, or 10 passes of this per spot. We're going to do the A, T, Y, and I. That's 10 times. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to have the kettlebell facing towards my feet, and I'm going to have it in towards my chest. My shoulder is hanging off. I start at the bottom of the pec. My forearm goes perpendicular to my body. My forehead lays on top of my forearm. The affected arm, what we're going to do, the tissue work, hangs off. Now, I have a lot of pressure on my pec. I'm going to do an A. My palm faces the ceiling. A T. My palm faces the ground. A Y. Thumb towards the ceiling. And an I. Thumb towards the ceiling. You see I have a pause. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, take your time. 1, 2. We'll perform all 4 movements for 1 rep 10 times. Then we move the kettlebell out and up just a little to trace the pec. We again lay on top of it. This is a tender spot for me. We're going to go through the range of motion. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. We'll perform 10 repetitions of that. I'm going to trace this all the way out to the insertion into where I'm getting close to my arm bone, the humerus. I'm going to lay on it and go through the same range of motion. 1, 2. 1, 2. You might notice my range of motion is a little bit less. That's because I've taken all the slack out with the pressure, and I'm at the very insertion spot. We'll perform 10 repetitions. Then we're going to move the kettlebell up and in again. I'm getting closer to my collarbone now. The other good thing about the size of the kettlebell is I don't have to do so many different passes per spot. I can do 3 on one and then move up and cover all the tissue. The smaller the tool, the more times you have to touch that muscle. We lay on top, pass through. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 10 repetitions. Move it out. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1,
two, and then all the way up into that shoulder as wide as it can go without falling off the table. Really tender spot. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And 1, 2.
So you see I do 6 passes with the kettlebell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can put more into each spot, or you can put less. If you're dealing with an acute injury, we want to make sure we can live to fight another day. Less is more. If your tool is smaller, you might have to do a few more passes. Experiment and find what your body responds best to. Back to the acute injuries. If you're dealing with an injury, get checked out before doing this by your primary care. Don't just jump in. Get the thumbs up that it's okay to jump in and do this. But once you have that, experiment and see how it works for you. You will gain and feel increased range of motion immediately from that. As always, like, share, save, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. We always appreciate that. Leave comments at the bottom of the page or emails. We'll respond to you as soon as we can. Until next time, guys, have a good day.